Right, that's what I was thinking. I was like, will she be here or will she on Zoom? So, okay, but I think this might be a week to talk about this. Yes. I would have done it, but I didn't know I was going to be here. I'm getting my PhD in psychology, so mental health is a good one to like every day. Okay.
The class is ready for teaching for marketing university online class.
So okay, so October,
They gave me white collar crime for the first month. So getting starts October.
okay, we will. This will be in the next.
Is it on our YouTube? Or is it just on our YouTube though?
Yeah, it's just on YouTube and it's a public list.
Our YouTube though?
Yeah, it's just on YouTube and it's a public list.
Crystal, what is our web?
www.indivisiblesagevolunteer.org.
Indivisible.cj.com. I got that part, but I was
So we've got some for like before and after you. So if you want, we can just
I'll just, and we can just plug that in. I have a little clicker because I can't stand
walk, which I never made to use in the library. Times are great.
St. Johnsbury.
I think we have some blank ones. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. Oh my gosh, this is my jam. All right. I was wanting to learn more about like grassroots organizations and how to connect to people involved in initiatives that I'm involved in and vice versa. So I actually just started there. I don't know how I can handle this. So I ended up getting involved in visibility. It works so much. Not like having an outlet.
Yeah, well, I volunteer and there's
Help yourself with snacks. Oh, with the snacks. My daughter's such an actress. And I'm about stuff, and I'm like, oh, that was I should have doing snacks like this girl. Very abstract thinking. Yeah, like she's got critical thinking, and she's like, and challenges you constantly.
all right. So I'm just gonna leave this here so we can just plug and plug.
Before I forget, this is our release form. Just saying that we can use your information for anything for
sure,
social
why not?
media, and we are also live streaming on several different platforms. So you
Great.
can live stream. Oh yeah, we can definitely turn that down. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I like that big. Oh yeah, I like that big.
Other people can be chatty. 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 Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that
Nice to meet
I get oriented really well with it, like when I'm just curious or talking to somebody. And if I'm just long explanations, it's a way but it's something something like this, I have set up like project management platforms for other organizations and businesses. We like calendar and like project boards and track like challenges. So I did the groundwork to do something like that. If you guys have a website, you can kind of graph that.
everyone went basically
But yeah, it has like file sharing.
or this is
But yeah, it was like the kind of thing where I'm like, if it was someone that had given it to me, I would have been
My phone should be open, but just hit pause. Huh? Okay, yeah, that works. I haven't tested the mic yet. You might have to turn it up a little. No, you shouldn't need to.
I have to turn it up a little bit. Okay. Down a little low.
So the top notch. Yeah, let's get started. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming out tonight. My name is Leah Schofield. I'm part of the Indivisible St. John Story Navigators group. We'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. Thank you for coming out. A couple of announcements, and we're going to get into it. We want to thank Sam's for hosting us tonight and for so many of our events. They're amazing. Tonight they are offering a drink special called Props to the People with watermelon, rose elderflower gin tonic, and a cherry tomato garnish. There's also a non-alcoholic version. A couple of housekeeping items. Bathrooms are through the bar. Okay, with Mike.
Well, it's not really a mic thing. So
All right.
we're for our icebreaker. What we're doing is warm wind blows. So we're gonna make a circle in the back here. Come on, this little area over here. All right. We'll see if we have enough space to make a circle. So for anybody under 30, it's probably a little bit traumatizing. For anybody who is a teacher in the last 30 years, you probably already know what this is. So the way a warm wind blows normally works is in chairs and less chairs and people. But in this case, we're going to do it a little different. So how we're going to do it today is one person will start and they're going to say like a warm wind blows and say something about themselves. And everybody else that applies to is going to come into the middle of the circle. Everybody's going to high five each other And then the last person to get back to the circle is going to be the next person. So it doesn't really matter how you get back to the circle because there's not any chairs. So no rushing, no pushing. And I will nominate myself as tribute to start. So, to start, the warm wind blows me from St. Yeah, living. Or I guess living. What's living? Not living in living in St. John's. Alright, so everybody let's high five each other. Alright. And now we can go back to the circle, and whoever's the last one. I think that's Tony. Oh, man. So now you're gonna
say something.
get something about yourself, and then
We're
everybody
gonna do
that's
political
last.
action.
Oh, political action. Well, yeah, let's do political action. Nobody goes in.
There's a lot of talking about.
A warm wind blows and all right. I have to think of something somebody else. Oh, all right. A warm wind blows and I'm a teacher.
Yeah, teachers.
I homeschooled, does that count?
Yeah.
All right, quick.
Sorry, built it.
Finally, somebody else.
So warm wind blows for anybody that's artist.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
A warm wind blows
Warm wind
if you went
blows.
door to door, or just call
I once
people
stood
advocating
outside
for
a
abortion and
polling station, talked to voters from
well,
door to door. Warm wind blows. A warm wind blows if you went door to door, or just called people advocating for abortion and Okay. Door to door. Warm wind blows if you've ever gone door to door.
I switched to the door to door.
Either one.
what am I supposed to do?
A warm wind blows everybody who, and then you say something that's true about yourself.
Oh, warm wind. You were
Yeah.
I've been doing stuff all my life and I'm not giving up. Warren Wind loads for anyone who spent a whole night in jail. That was really stupid. All right, can we handle that one? That was awesome.
I grabbed Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, Carrie, are you ready? Carrie is walking around in the outfit. Okay, Carrie, are you ready? Around the table. Carrie is walking around, handing out some activities for tonight in order to get her up here to do her talk.
We just wanted to take one and pass this around.
Should everyone have one?
Everybody should grab one.
There should be some pens and pencils around the table too, which you can use tonight.
Crayons are fabulous.
Okay, tonight our speaker is Carrie Lavely from Northeast Kingston Human Services. Doing a little walk here. Okay.
You put down your computer.
Yeah, you can say what you need to say and I'll do
It
this.
wasn't going to be very long.
Okay, tonight our speaker is Carrie Lavely from Northeast Kingdom Human Services.
We're doing a little technical swap out here.
So, we're going to do a round of applause for Carrie Lavely. Okay, Terry's going to talk to us about mental health in uncertain times, which is a really important topic right now. And she was telling me that it is Suicide Awareness Month, so that is top of mind for her. So, everybody do a round of applause for Terry Lavely.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. Please grab a bag because we do have some activities that we are going to do together tonight. And also, please excuse my technical hiccups. I'm a human service worker, not a.
Could you hold the mic a little closer?
I'm a human service worker, not a tech person, so I struggle with this sometimes.
I developed this training based on experiences I've had with.
All right, so our agenda for tonight, I'm gonna introduce myself, and we're gonna do a little bit of housekeeping. Then we're gonna talk about mental health risk factors and protective factors. And we're gonna do some brainstorming and activities together. And I developed this training based on some experiences I've had with within working in the mental health systems. Before we get started and I introduce myself, I want to fully recognize that the topic of mental health is extremely uncomfortable for folks, especially the topic of suicide, mental health struggles, and mental health crisis. So we know that 1 in 5 adults are currently struggling with their mental health and have active thoughts of suicide. So as we engage in this conversation tonight, I invite you all to do what you need to do to take care of yourself. If you need to take space, please do that. Please get up, stand. I can't sit for very long, so if you just need to get up and stand with your body, I invite you to do that. If it becomes uncomfortable and you need to leave the room, please do so. Your mental health is important to me, and it's important to all of us. And we might share some subjects or talk about things that might be uncomfortable. Also, with that being said, we're not going to share any graphic stories together tonight because that might be triggering to somebody else in the room. We want to make sure that everybody is, we're sharing a safe space together, so we're not going to share any graphic stories tonight. And we want to make sure that we're creating safe space. So, introductions, I always wonder how to introduce myself in settings like this, and settings in general. I do a lot of training. Should I say my personal life or my professional life first? So I think I'm going to start with my professional life, and then a little bit about my personal life, and then how I kind of developed this training to really recognize learning that I've had over the last 5 years. So my professional life, I have had the absolute pleasure of working with the Northeast Human Services. I'm in my 21st year of employment there. I've done boots on the ground working one-on-one with individuals in the community. I've done a ton of crisis work. I can't even tell you how many hours. I've been a senior director for programs and departments. I've worked with adults with disabilities. I've worked with children. I've worked with people with substance misuse issues. And then 5 years ago, I landed this great position of training and community engagement, which is really my love and my passion, to train our staff internally and our community to live smarter pants when it comes to mental health. I have a ton of super special letters after my name that mean a lot to other folks, not so much to me. So I have like MS, I got like the alphabet soup going on over here, which is again important to other people, but not so much to me. My personal life, I live right here in St. Johnsbury. I have 2 beautiful children. I have a 28-year-old son and who graduated from the New Academy 10 years ago, and a 14-year-old daughter that just entered her freshman year, so we're going to have to begin high school. We have 6 fur babies in my house, 4 flips, which are dogs. That's flips are dogs, just so you know. One's my son, 3 of them, and 2 funners, which are bunnies.
I grew up in.
So we live in like organized chaos in my home. I actually am not from Vermont, but I married a Vermonter, divorced Vermonter. Birthed Vermonters, but I'm still not from Vermont and never will be from Vermont because I wasn't born here and I recognize that. But I grew up in poverty. I grew up in extreme situations. I was homeless at 15 years old and grew up in situations where it makes you realize how lucky I got involved in mental health is because of my own lived experience. Also, I'm a huge advocate, state and federally, for suicide awareness and prevention. I'm on chapter. I am joining the NAMI. My 18-year-old nephew, 9.5 years ago, to suicide. And I attempted to take my own life when I was 15 years old. So mental health has been a passion of mine before I even knew it was a passion of mine. To access help. The other 4 events were the same thing 4 times over. The flooding, July 10th, 2023, July 10th, 2024, July 30th, 2024, and July 10th of this year. So I had to relearn and reimagine what mental health supports during times of crisis and uncertainty look like. And what we know is there are certain risk factors and protective factors with mental health. There's our biological, what we're born with, right? What we're gifted with or not gifted with, depending on how you look at it. From your family, from the genes and genetics that are passed down. Your psychological factors, the things, your chemistry, how your brain works, because of those biological factors that join together, and our social and emotional factors, which are the biggest indicators of mental health crisis and mental health struggles. So all of those things have a huge contributing factor to mental health crisis, and our current life stressors and events play a big role in how we see and how we feel about our mental health. So when we look at that on a broader scale, we have all of these interacting risk and protector factors. We, as individuals, only have a certain amount of coping and resilience in us. We can deal with 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 life stressors, but when that 5th life stressor hits,
And really, our role.
that's what we call the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? And we want to recognize that mental health crisis is not the problem. It's all of these factors, these interactive risk factors that are building up, and there's not enough protective factors to help us maintain our mental health. And really, our roles and responsibilities as a community is to recognize that these interactive factors and these risk factors happen every day. And how do we know when these are happening, and how can we support each other when we know the straw has broken the camel's back? So, as human beings, we only have so much coping and resilience in our body. We can only deal with so much at one time. And I like to use the global pandemic and the floods that have happened in the Northeast Kingdom as an example of what I've learned, because traditionally, like I said, I thought I was a smarty pants about mental health, but what I've learned is I'm not. And I'm still learning. We ask people to come to us. Come to Northeast Kingdom, go to your therapist, come to your primary care physician. We will give you mental health support. And that's not the answer. We need to go out. We need to be responsible as a community members. You don't have to be a mental health professional to support mental health. And one of the questions was, how many people have ever gone door-to-door knocking? Yeah, that was me during the floods. Door to door to door to every flood survivor saying, how are you? Do you need help? What can I get you connected to? That's mental health support. Reaching out, touching your neighbors, caring, yes. Caring about what's going on, and mental health and mental illness are 2 completely different things. Mental illness is when you have a condition that gets in the way of your everyday being and happiness. Mental health, we all have, and we all have some of these driving factors. And when things happen in our communities, such as the floods, the global pandemic, it impacts your mental health, which also impacts food security, housing security, financial security, physical health, domestic violence. All of these things are drivers to mental health. So mental health lives on a continuum, the same as physical health. How many people in this room have ever had a cold, the flu, maybe coronavirus? Raise your hand. Weird. How many people in this room have ever been worried about something or sad about something? Okay, so our physical health is the same as our mental health. It lives on this continuum of being healthy and being unwell. And when those feelings of worry and sadness get from, like, I'm coping with it, to the unwell part is when we really need to start recognizing and worrying. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is like, what are some skills that we can bring to the table to support ourselves, support our friends, support our neighbors, and other community members. And there's a huge connection between mental and physical health that I think people ignore. So I'm a person that lives with acute anxiety. So that is a diagnosed mental health condition. I'm not mentally ill. I battle it every day. I have these ridiculous stories that I make up in my head. I lay in bed at night and I rewind the day and the things I say. When I leave here tonight, when I go to bed, I'm gonna be like, oh, was I an idiot? Did I sound stupid in front of all these people? Yeah, that's gonna happen, just so y'all know.
We'll let you know right now you did it. Tell yourself good things.
Thank you. So there's a huge connection between physical and mental health, and sometimes that's negated in our health community. So physical health, cramps, stomach flu, high blood pressure, dizziness, digestion, broken bones, allergies. Those are all things that physically happen to us. Mental health, anxiety, depression, constant worrying, I call it imposter syndrome, overwhelming stress, can't concentrate, feeling like a burden to others. Humans are hardwired for connection, but also want to be super independent at the same time, right? Like, I can do it on my own, but I need to be connected to you, but I don't need your help. And then how that can manifest in your body is headaches, stomach aches, your mood, sleeping. How many people that get worried or sad sleep less or more? Right, that's totally eating. How many people like sweet or salty stuff like Fritos or Funyuns when they're worried? Like, yeah. Resilience, your resiliency goes down. You don't have the ability to cope with things that you normally would be able to cope with. Your stress tolerance, your appetite, you eat more or less. Like the Funyuns or the Starburst or whatever your eating thing is. So there's a huge connection between physical and mental health. The good news is, right here in the Northeast Kingdom, we are doing a ton of work to break down barriers around as drivers to mental health crisis. And I always like to give a shout out to NEK Prosper. How many people have heard of NEK Prosper? Raise your hand. And yes. So this is an accountable health community. NEK Prosper is in Southern Essex, and we really address disparities in the Northeast Kingdom. There's 5 different groups: financially, mentally, physically well, housed and well nourished. And our thought is, if you have all 5 of these things, you got life, right? You're doing really, really well. But where are we addressing the gaps in each one of these? Where are we addressing the mental health, physical health, financial, well housed and well nourished, the gaps in those? So when something falls through the cracks, where are the services and supports? So if you're interested in learning more about our accountable health communities, please visit NEK Prosper. It's nekprosper.org for anybody. I will also send out an email with links to that. And there's a lot of grassroots efforts happening right here in the kingdom. So I want to do a quick brainstorm. We're going to take about 1 minute to do this in your table with your neighbors, your friends around you. I want you to brainstorm what are situational factors that could impact your mental health. So I already talked about 2, it was the global pandemic and the floods. So what are other situations that could impact your mental health? So I'm going to give you about 1 minute to talk with your neighbors and your friends, and then we're going to share out afterwards. So,
well, ankle houses, like the 5 situations of facts, housing financial, mental health, financially stable, we have time. No, we really don't. We have a choice with people who yeah, we My therapist told me Alright, everyone. We're talking in our school about our educational systems, relationship status. I'm not going to do deep dive because I want to hear where does
All right, everyone, let's come back together and just share out quick. We were talking in our group about our educational systems, our relationship status. I'm not going to do a deep dive because I want to hear from all of you. What are some situational things that could impact your mental health?
Of course, I had Indivisible. Bring it on.
Power grades.
What else? Anyone else?
What else?
Losing your job.
Losing your job.
Social media.
Losing your health.
There are
Feeling powerless about our politics.
like your health environmental
Isolation.
Seasonal.
We're at full force ahead. Seasonal depression. Bring it on. What else? Anyone else?
Too much sugar.
Social media. Yeah, there are a ton of situational things that can impact your mental health. Environmental incidents, being fired from a job, expelled from school, a recent unwanted move, loss of any major relationship, divorce, and oftentimes we celebrate retirement, but a lot of folks don't recognize retirement as loss of relationships. I know, so I'm probably gonna be like 40 years in. That's a long time of relationships, right? That I'm gonna be losing. Everybody's gonna be like, woo, she's finally out of here. And I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna miss all my friends. Death of spouse, child, best friend, or coworker, especially the death is by suicide. And I just want to say that individuals that lose somebody close to them by suicide are 62% more likely to have suicidal thoughts themselves. I know this because I work in the world of suicide. By the way, happy suicidal terminal illness. Why would this physical thing be so connected to mental health? Anybody?
Sudden unexpected loss of
Worry.
fear. Unexpected loss of freedom or fear.
Uncertainty. Financial insecurities.
Rights insecurities.
Rights insecurities. Dependency or burden on others. Right? Unknown future ahead of you. Sudden unexpected loss of or fear. Unexpected loss of freedom or fear of punishment. We have a high rate of mental health issues in our incarcerated population, especially our incarcerated population who are awaiting trial. They don't know what due process is going to bring them. Oftentimes when we read stuff in the news, we're like so quick to judge, like, they're a criminal. And everybody else is judging you and putting that stigma on you. And you might not even be guilty, but there's that community stigma associated with that. Anticipated loss of financial security, which can come from retirement. It can come from death of a spouse. It can come from medical issues where you can't work or take care of yourself and you don't know what that's going to look like anymore. Or loss of anybody that's your close friend. Right? A teacher, a therapist, a coworker, anybody that's close to you that you can share those interpersonal thoughts with can create mental health struggles and crisis. And then fear of becoming burdens on others. We as humans are fiercely independent, but we're also hardwired for connection. We don't want other people to take care of us, but we need that human connection to feel like we belong. I have to tell you, my bestie's been in Greece for 2 weeks. I hate her. I have her 2 dogs on my house, and right now I have 6 fluffs at my house. And she's coming back today. When I get home, she'll be there. And I hate her, but I love her. I hate her because she's been gone. I've had nobody with 2 weeks of Suicide Awareness Prevention Month, which is my crazy month. Wired for connection. And sometimes I feel like a burden on her, especially during May and September, mental health awareness month and suicide, where I'm just like so busy, crazy with my work and everything. But then she gets it, she knows. She always allows like so much grace in our conversations and everything. But I think she purposely plans to be gone the first 2 weeks of September so she doesn't have to deal with me. All right, so we're gonna jump into support tools and activities. And does everybody have a bag? Does anybody not have a bag? Raise your hand if you don't have a bag. All right, there's lots of great stuff in the bag. Yeah, there's lots of fun stuff in there. So what I want to say, the tools that we're going to go over are for yourself and they're for supporting other folks. So when, in my many 21 years of doing crisis work, I like to say nothing about me without me. Although the person in mental health crisis or yourself, you might not be able to think clearly, you still want to be in charge of your own destiny. You still want to make decisions about where you're going, what your treatment looks like, the resources that you get connected to. So nothing about me without me is super important. The second thing is a lesson my sister loudly spoke to me about 4 years ago when she was calling to bitch a complaint. She was calling to complain about her husband, and I was like, you can do this to fix it, and you can do this to fix it, and she's like, damn it, Terry, I do not want advice, I just need to vent right now. So now, thank you my dear sister, 4 years ago I learned, do you just need space to vent, or do you need help? Do you need advice? So when you're working with somebody that might be in crisis, or when you're thinking about yourself, do you just need that space to vent, or do you actually need help to get connected to resources and supports, which is super, super important. I'm a fixer and a doer. It's in me, it's in my body, so I have to really, really practice this so hard. And I hear somebody's in crisis or struggling. Do you just need to talk about it? Because sometimes that's all people need is to talk about what's going on in their life, and they feel better. They feel heard and justified, right? That is a huge impact on negative mental health, is just having that safe space to talk about it. So, through my flood work, I developed this little worksheet, which is not in your bag. But this is a great thing. When you're in crisis, your brain is on overdrive and you can't think clearly. And it's all these compounding issues and things that are going on that you have no control over. It's not just one thing, it's many, many, many different things. So when I was working with flood survivors, I developed this worksheet of like, what are the things that are pending in your life, right? What's going on? What needs to be fixed? Food, housing, fuel, transportation, childcare, employment, whatever it is, we list it in a text of things that needed to be done. And then, what is the priority level for you as a person? So this is something you can do with someone else or you can do for yourself. Is this number one priority? Like, I need to get to work. Which number two might be transportation or whatever, you're gonna figure that out. And then, is it in or out of my control? So a lot of times in the flood support that I did was FEMA. Does anybody know what FEMA is? Federal Emergency Management. Right, so people were waiting on like FEMA declarations and awards because they couldn't move forward in their recovery for other funding sources, which was oftentimes out of their control, but they might have needed to file an appeal, right? Like, so FEMA, out of my control, but also in my control because I need to get this paperwork in for an appeal. So we would prioritize that. What was the resources and who was the contact person? So this is just like a little idea of like how to help people prioritize what's going on for them. Because if we remember, here's the mental health crisis, and there's all these problems that are building up that causes the mental health crisis. So if we can break it down a little bit for them and help them prioritize or help ourselves prioritize. I have to say, as somebody that lives with acute anxiety, I keep a notepad next to my bed, and I gotta get it out of my head. So if I'm laying in bed at night and I'm not able to fall asleep, I grab that notepad and I write it down, and then it's out of my brain. And the next morning I get up and I do this kind of thing of like, in my control, out of my control, and sometimes I rip it up. And what I tell when I'm working with kids is like, if you get it out of your head, rip it up and throw it away, and then it's not a problem anymore, and do it as many times as you need to. But really what I do is burn it in my kitchen sink. But don't tell kids to burn stuff in their kitchen sink. So for me, like I burn it and then it's gone, and sometimes I need to burn the same product 20 times before it gets out of my brain, right? Like, so that's a coping skill that I have, to get things that are like out of my control. I can't do anything about it. Rip it up, burn it in the sink, it's gone. Burn it 20 times, it's gone 20 times, maybe 30, who knows. So in your bags, I want you all to reach in your bags. The one thing in our body that we do have control over is our breathing. And we're going to talk a lot about some grounding techniques right now. And oftentimes we hear people say, just take a deep breath and get over it. Taking a deep breath is not easy, right? When you were working there, you can get these online. And I just want to take about 1 minute, and I want to just practice some like deep breathing together. And I want you to practice like breathing in for 30 seconds and breathing out for 30 seconds. You can follow, yep, that was 30 seconds. So let's just take a minute and just do a couple of deep inhales and exhales at your own pace to let it calm and center ourselves. Because that is the only thing we really have control over. All right, let's go.
I don't know if that was a minute, if that was on. You guys like a little more centered, and sometimes for other people that are I do it with them, right? Like let's just take a minute to pause.
All right, I don't know if that was a minute, but that was all my brain could take.
So the next thing we have, we're gonna all do
like a little more centered, and sometimes I have to remind myself to pause and breathe, and when I'm working with other people that are in crisis, I do it with them, right? Like, let's just take a minute to pause and take a deep breath before we have to dive into the other hard stuff that we need to talk about. So the next thing in your bag, which we're gonna all do together tonight, is a safety plan. I like to call this a mental health plan, not just a safety plan. I do this with all of the youth that I work with in schools because I honestly believe everybody should have a mental health and safety plan before they go into crisis. This is a tool we use as crisis clinicians when we go in and people are suicidal. You know, they have suicide or homicidality, they're unsafe and they're dangerous, and we say, what are your warning signs and what are your protective factors? Nobody can identify them when they're in crisis. So tonight I want you all to take a minute to go through this and, you know, like warning signs that a crisis is developing. Those can be the physical things. Remember we talked about how like mental health manifests in your body. They can be the physical things. So for me, how I know that I'm starting to go into crisis is my sleep cycle flops. I start eating more Fritos and Funyuns, and I start obsessively vacuuming. So it could be weird things like that. But what do you know about yourself when you're starting to go down that slippery slope? And then internal coping skills can be like when you recognize when this is happening, what do you do? For myself, it's walking my dogs. It's going kayaking. It's scrapbooking. It's painting. It's listening to music extremely loud and having a soft dance party in my living room all by myself. And then we'll go through the rest, and then we'll share out afterwards. I'll give you guys about 3 minutes to do the whole sheet of who your people are and what you recognize in yourself. We'll share out after, and remember, sharing is optional. You don't have to share if you don't want to, but I would love to hear what you know about yourself. And this is also something you can do with someone else before they go into crisis.
That's right.
Trying to be mindful of time too. How am I doing?
6:50.
And I have like 7:50.
Yeah, till 7:50. Are you ahead of schedule?
I don't know. Time begins when I get here.
That's right. Younger.
I just wing it most of the time.
Country. That's the best option. Can't copy each other's answers. You're two different people.
Is your son playing sports or?
She's your trigger? Oh, we'll share about that. Like heavy, and then the oldest now is just chicken. We've been trying to reach out to some.
Stop cheating.
Can't copy each other's answers. You're two different people.
Yeah, it's my trigger.
She's your trigger? Oh, we'll share about that in a minute.
We've been trying to reach out to these surveys of their youth of how primary care interacts with them. So we try Really?
Yeah, we want to.
Yay or nay? Yeah, there's like no in between.
We're
Or there's not a big space.
surveys of youth of like how primary care interacts with them, so we can train primary care on more culturally competent supports and resources.
I wonder.
So,
All right, I don't know if that was 3 minutes, but let's go through this together. Warning signs that a crisis might be developing for you. Does anyone want to share? I shared with myself, like my sloppy sleeping patterns, my horrible eating habits. I'm salt all the time too, but I guess.
all right, I don't know if that was 3 minutes because I'm awful at time, but let's go through this together. Warning signs that a crisis might be developing for you. Does anyone want to share? I shared for myself, like my floppy sleeping patterns, my horrible eating habits, salt. Does anybody else want to share?
Yeah, like it's like,
Anyone
oh,
else
you're
wanna
doing a
share?
video game, so you can solve this. Hypercleaning and metacognitive gamifying.
Yeah, I'm always talking.
Meta what?
Yeah,
What's that?
like my brain tells me I'm playing The Sims, and so the universe feels like The Sims, rather than like real life.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's like, oh, you're doing a video game, like you can solve this or you can win this instead of, rational human adult thoughts.
Yeah, I'm old, so I'm thinking of like Super Mario Brothers.
What are some coping strategies that you all have in place? So I shared walking my dog, kayaking, those are some great things, but kayaking is almost
pulling
coming to an
away
end,
from
so I gotta be like.
that connection that we talked about earlier, or it might be the other
What are
side
your
of like
things that you-
over clinging to your supports and just becoming annoying to them, right? What are some coping strategies that you all have in place? So I shared walking my dogs and kayaking. Those are some great things, but kayaking is almost coming to an end, so I gotta be like, oh.
More than people get hurt by animals.
What are your coping things that you go to?
Yoga.
Nature walks.
Nature walks.
That's great.
Crafting.
who are two
crafting, calling a
people or
friend.
places
Watching
that
something
you
funny.
can go to that provide
I'm
distraction?
nervous
So mental
about
health
some
crisis is in your
videos.
mind, you gotta
I
pull
love
yourself out of
animal
that.
people
So
bloopers.
people are
Or when
more
people get hurt by animals.
provide
They just
distraction
crack me up.
for you all.
What else?
I love
Yoga.
that.
Yeah, great.
Anyone else?
Who are two people or places that you could go to that provide distraction? So a mental health crisis is in your mind and you've gotta pull yourself out of that funk. So people or places that you can go to that provide distraction for you all.
And I don't know why.
I love the yarn bank. Anyone else? Movies, absolutely.
And
It's weirdly calming to me. And I don't know why, because you would think your mind races more because it's so quiet. Can you ask for help? So I know it's my friend Karen, except for the last 2 weeks, because that wretched person's been in Greece. And my big sister. She's always been a support. But who are your people? You guys are probably not from each other.
I'll leave it there. And we have a good internal system of like, I know my
Mom.
coworkers, like, God, like I
Someone else
just
said something?
got pushed in front of her truck with my hair. pulled out.
Husband, yes,
And
spouse, significant other.
Right.
Sometimes you have a coworker.
So we have
At NHS, we deal with a lot of
like coworkers that we.
semi-unpleasant things.
Professionals.
I'm just gonna
Who are
leave it
your
there.
professionals?
And we have a
working
lot,
along
we have a
my
good
business.
internal
I just,
system of,
I gotta
I
say
know
that
I
out
say
loud.
coworkers,
My
like,
state
oh
like,
my God, like I just
but who are your
got pushed in front of a truck and my hair pulled out and I need to vent about this, right? Like, so we have a safe internal system too of like coworkers that we can lean on each other. Professionals, who are your professionals? I freaking love my therapist. I gotta say that out loud.
So
My
988.
therapist has saved my life over and over and over and over
Who
again.
knows about
But who are your
988?
professionals that you could lean on?
Okay. So everybody's gonna know about 988 right now. 988 used to be 1-800-273-8555.
Primary care physician?
That
Can you
was
talk to your doctors?
hotline. 3 years ago,
Supervisors,
actually 4 years ago,
EAP.
nationally, they
Ooh, that's a
dedicated
tough one,
as
right?
988, which is 911.
So 988,
The difference is,
who knows about
when you call
988?
911, you get dispatched,
Okay.
fire, police.
So everybody's gonna know about 988 right now. 988 used to be 1-800-273-8255. That was the suicide crisis hotline. 3 years ago, actually 4 years ago, nationally, they dedicated it as 988, which is 911 for your mental health.
And you get
The
connected
difference
to
is,
me.
when you call 911, you get dispatched, fire, police, ambulance, depending on
It's free confidential.
911, which is your emergency.
5 days a week.
988, you
And
get
it's not
connected
just for you
directly
with
to a
your
mental health
crisis. If
professional.
you're like, oh, I'm
all
going
throughout
to
the
decide,
state.
call,
You
text,
can
chat,
call,
988.
text, or chat 988 anytime you need help, and you get connected to me, because I've answered thousands of those calls, and NHS is actually
So that's
a 988 provider. It's free, confidential, 24/7,
So now, who
365
knows
days
what
a year.
988 is?
And it's not just for you if you're in crisis, if
Share
you're like,
that
oh, I'm
with
having
people.
anxiety, call, text, chat, 988. What if your child, or your spouse, or your
And
friend
that's
is
really our
experiencing
goal,
mental
is
health
to
crisis and you
break
don't
down
know
those
what to
barriers.
do? You can also call, text, or chat 988. So that's a great resource for everyone. So now, who knows what 988 is? Raise your hand. Thank you. Share that widely, openly. Again, free, confidential, 24/7, 365 days a year. And that's really our goal, is to break down those barriers to
Permission
mental
slip.
health
The
supports,
next thing in
right?
your bag.
There's so many
Got a
barriers.
cute little
The bureaucracy, state and federal
When you are
government
in
is
crisis
maddening.
or you are struggling
They
with
create
your
these
mental health,
systems that make it
you
impossible
need
for
your
people to receive the
do
support
one
and
thing
service they need.
on your
988
safety
is one
plan
that they have not
with
been
your
able to touch
coping
yet.
skills, right? Let's go back to
And
number
as
2.
long as I'm
So,
alive, they
for me
will
also,
because I will
I
fight
did
for
share
it.
this with the little
Permission
bit.
slips, the
When
next
I
thing in
started
your
going
bag.
down my slip-
You got a cute little permission
slip
slip in there.
anxiety
Um,
cycles that I go
When
through.
you are in crisis or you are struggling with your mental health, you need to give yourself permission to do one thing on your
So,
safety
I have
plan
these.
of
and
your
I-
coping skills, right? Let's go back to number 2.
Carry.
So,
Give
for me
myself
also,
permission
I didn't
to
share this
shower.
because it's a little embarrassing, when I start going
And
down
that
my
one shower
slippery slope
starts
of like my
cycle
anxiety cycles that I go
that
through.
makes it so I start
I
feeling
don't,
better.
I don't
And
shower.
sometimes I give myself
I don't
permission
shower
to take a
for
shower,
weeks.
and I still suck at my
So I have these, a pile of these
So
on
I
my
keep that
counter,
permission slip
and
in
I,
my- the
Terry,
next day I
give myself permission to shower
And then once I've
today.
accomplished that shower,
Give myself permission today to
so
shower.
permission slips are very,
And I
very
still
powerful
suck at
too.
my mental
You're
health and I
starting
don't
to
shower.
how
So I keep
don't
that permission
give
slip
yourself
for the next
permission
day.
to take care
So the
of
next
you.
day I give myself
Sit in
permission to
silence
shower.
and struggle.
And then once I've accomplished that
So,
shower, I give myself
I want
permission
you all
to do the
to
next
take a moment.
thing.
You don't have to
I
write
give
it down.
myself permission to
Photocopy
take the dogs
these
for a walk.
later. I'll also send
I
them
give
to
myself
the
permission
email.
to go
Want
kayaking.
to- you guys
So
just
permission
take a
slips are
moment
very,
to
very
give
powerful
yourself
too, because
permission
when you're
tomorrow
struggling with
to
your
do
mental
something.
health, you
Help
don't
your
give
mental health.
yourself permission to
And then we'll
take
share
care of you.
30
You
seconds
sit in
to take
silence and you
time
struggle.
for yourself. What are you
So,
gonna give yourself permission to do tomorrow?
I want you all to just take a moment. You don't have to write it down because you can photocopy these, use them later. I'll also send them so they'll be emailed out. I want you guys just to take a minute to give yourself permission tomorrow to do something to help your mental health. And then we'll share out, like 30 seconds of thinking silently to yourself.
All right, does anybody want to share what they gave themselves permission to do? Okay, anyone else? Did you give
All
yourself
right,
permission?
does anybody want to share what they gave themselves permission to do tomorrow?
Take a walk. Take a walk.
Turn off my phone.
Eat lunch.
Amen,
Turn
sister.
off your phone, or at the very least.
I work through lunch
Right,
every
like-
single day of my life. Eat lunch. Anyone else?
Day, an hour. Yes.
Were you giving yourself
Anyone else
permission
here?
to do
The home stretch here, we got the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, which is also super grounding.
Turn off your
And
phone.
again, I wanna remind you, all of
Turn
these
off your
things
social media,
to
right?
break
Like
the cycle
disconnect
of your
yourself.
brain. So the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique, has anybody have heard of this before? I've loved so
All right, we're
much.
hitting the home stretch here. We got the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, which is also super breathe things you can hear, all right?
Just like
smell the air.
I
smell that it is with
your
So when we think about like those grounding techniques of mental health and how to get ourselves out of those cycles, I have panic attacks, really bad panic attacks. And I can feel them coming on, and I know like the precursors, like I would start feeling like my chest tighten and things getting, and I will step away and I use this, like, what are 5 things around me I can see? What are 4 things around me that I can touch, physically feel? And I'm like a touchy person who goes shopping and like touches things that are really bad, just so I feel the fire. Yeah, that's me. 3 things I can hear. I can hear the loudspeaker, I can hear the fan, I can hear people's footprints. So this is another grounding technique that you can use to support and maintain your mental health. When you start feeling things creep up, this is a great one when you can just step away. And when that was a plus to do when you're in the actual process. And it just really grounds your mind and gets your mind out of that cycle. And when we think about, or someone you know are in struggling with their mental health, we want to think about taking care of our mind, setting the goals, giving ourselves permission. Really, it's our brain being overactive in that crisis. What's that man doing in there? But I actually don't care. Going for walks, taking a bath, breathing exercises, going for a hike, anything that you can do to get your body moving forward. Your soul. What is eating your soul? Are you going to church if church is the place that you want to be? Are you asking for help? Nobody asks for help. Do you feel good social media? America's Funniest Home Video bloopers where people get hurt because of animals. That's my toxic thing. I just laugh so hard. It's so silly, but I can't even help it. Set boundaries for yourself. When you commit to something, and then you're obligations that we need to meet, but sometimes it's okay to say, I don't have the capacity to do this right now. And that's okay. You're not less of a
I
person
am
for
the
setting
girl
those
you're gonna
boundaries.
find
Like
later.
4, 3, 2, 1,
So,
the things you see, the
what
things
does
you
your
can
space
touch, the
look
things
like?
you can smell.
And
I love to
when
decorate
you
my
start to
space
feel
in ways
yourself
that are
going
comfortable to me.
great,
I am the girl that you're gonna find laying underneath the biggest, fuzziest blanket when it's 92 degrees out. You are gonna smell candles burning when you come into my space. There's always gonna be music
So,
playing
we're
because
gonna do
music
some
makes my
resource
mind
sharing, and this is a
quiet.
nice,
So,
this
what
is
does
a
your
share
space
for
look like in your
health
surroundings?
that
And
for these
when you start to feel yourself going into crisis,
And we always, 90 days, who knows what 90
that
days
is what's
Yeah, man.
going
Yes,
to
okay.
help prevent you to move forward versus that Northeast Kingdom Human Services has to offer. And we always say someone to contact. So 988, who knows what 988 is? Raise your hand. Yes, okay, maybe we won't revisit that. Someone to respond. We also have mobile crisis, which is a 2-person response team that will come to where you are so you don't have to go to the emergency room. They'll come to your home, they'll come to the school, they'll come to your place of work. It's a clinician and a peer support, so someone that has been impacted themselves or who has supported other, like a family member in mental health crisis, and they'll come with you in that safety plan we did together earlier. They're gonna walk you through that, they're gonna say, hey, what are your next steps, and they're going to give you suggestions on how to support your mental health to keep you out of crisis. Somewhere safe to go.
When you're struggling with your mental health, go to the front porch.
All else fails, we have 2 great hospitals, North Country and VRH.
24/7.
But we also have the front porch coming up in Newport, which is the first mental health walking facility open
So
in
you come
Vermont.
see us today, you call us.
24/7. So you know how when you have an ear infection, you go to the walk-in clinic and not the emergency department?
And I also.
When you're struggling with
say
your
our
mental health, go to the
drivers
front porch and not the emergency department.
Are not
Same
always
kind of thing.
anxiety or depression.
24/7 support there. And someone to follow up. All 3 of these things offer
We will
follow-up.
follow up on
So
all
you
of
come
these
see us
things.
today, you call us today, tomorrow, we're gonna call you back if you agree to it and say, how are you doing? Did you get connected to what you
We'll
need?
make sure you get.
And I also wanna say, our drivers to mental health crisis are not always anxiety or depression. Sometimes it's food insecurity, sometimes it's housing, sometimes it's financial, domestic violence. We will follow up on all of these things, and so will our community. We'll make sure you get connected to Umbrella. If you have domestic violence, we'll make sure you get connected to NECA. If you have housing or food insecurities, whatever you need, we will not stop following up with you until you're connected to the resources that you need. More suggestions. How many people know what 988 is? Oh, wait, 3rd time I asked that? Great, awesome. Trevor Project is for the LGBTQ community. Unfortunately, our federal government just cut the LGBTQ option 3 for 988. So we're recommending people to call it Trevor Project, but you can also call 988 if you identify with LGBTQ. You're going to get connected to services. And RAIN is the National Sexual Assault Hotline, and lots more resources. NAMI, AFSP, Love of Arms. So I also, whenever I do a presentation and I hijack slides from other presentations, I like to cite my sources. So all of the sources that you've seen here today in this PowerPoint came from the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, QPR Institute, which is Question, Persuade, Refer, Northeast Kingdom Human Services, where I'm employed, and SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration. So that is all I have for you tonight. I hope that you got something tangible to take away from this. I hope mental health isn't as scary to you, because I love mental health and as much as I love physical health.
I just wanted to mention that NAMI, National Alliance on Mental
And
Illness,
we
has
love,
a very active chapter
so much
in
for
Vermont
everything you
with
do.
a lot
Bravo.
of free resources. There are support groups for
So, we have
struggling with mental illness and individuals struggling
so
themselves
we have
with
a few
mental illness.
minutes left. I
There
will.
are classes for family members. And peers,
I have a question.
and there's a whole
What can
table right
we
here
do
covered with
to
NAMI
support
information.
the mental
It's all
health
free.
community moving
And
forward
we
as
love
more and more
so
access
much
is
for
stripped
everything
away
they do. So
from
bravo
government
to NAMI.
regulation?
That's a great question.
So we have, I think I'm all right.
Mental health again is all the drivers.
So we have a few minutes left. I will open it up to any questions or comments.
find your
I have a
passion
question.
and find
What can
a
we do
group
to support
that speaks to your
the mental
passion
health
and speaks
community
loud and
moving
great in
forward
that group.
as
So I
we
talked
learn
earlier
more
about
access
educated
in strict
customers.
ways?
There's
to
5
get
collaborative
recognition?
action networks, well housed.
That's a great question.
physically healthy,
So
financially
mental
secure,
health
and
again is
well-nourished.
all the drivers,
So what
financial,
is your
housing,
passion? Do you
food,
love
all of
food
those
security?
things
Food
impact our
security
mental
drives
health.
mental health.
Find your passion
Join
and
that
find
group.
a
Share
group
more information.
that
I know, I
speaks to
just
your
learned about
passion
this
and
group
speak
and I'm like,
loud
oh my
and
gosh,
bravely
this is
in that
amazing.
group.
So
So
by
I
the
talked
way,
earlier
I'm
about
gonna
NEK
share
Prosper.
now.
There's
I
5
so
collaborative
appreciate what
action
you all are
networks,
doing.
well housed, mentally
So
healthy,
how do
physically
you
healthy,
support mental
financially
health as you
secure,
find
and
your
well
passion?
nourished.
Of
So what is your
whatever
passion?
like,
Do you love food
find
security?
grassroots
Food security is a driver to mental health
join that.
insecurities.
And
Join
be
that
part of
group.
that.
Share
Also,
more
keep your eyes
information.
and ears
I know,
open.
I just learned about this
I
group
know
and I'm like,
that
oh my
our
gosh, this is amazing. So by the way, I'm going to be sharing this loud and proud because I so appreciate what you all are doing here. So how you support mental health is you find your passion of whatever it is in your life and you find grassroots organizations that are supporting that and you be part of that. Also keep your eyes and ears open. I know that legislators aren't going into session for a little bit, but I'm already ramping up. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned, I'm an advocate for mental health bills on state and federal levels. I'm already ramping up right now. It's freaking September. Like, we're talking spring and June on a federal level, and I'm already going. So find your love, join a group. If you need connections or resources, let me know, and I can give you some suggestions. I know there's also a lot of other partners in this room that are well connected as well.
You could get someone else. And we do need.
Anyone else?
So NAMI has a lot of services it provides, but it also
Yeah.
welcomes volunteers.
Thank you, Betty, so much. And the same thing with the American
So,
Foundation.
if you have a mental illness or
We
you have
offer
a family member who has a mental illness, so you're familiar with these struggles, even if you
And
have
again, it's
everything
like,
under control
like I
in
said,
your life
finding
right
your
now,
love, and
you
NAMI
should be a support
Vermont
to
is
someone
just
else.
like
And we do
amazing.
need volunteers to help with the
Because it's not,
facilitating the
we
support
don't
groups and
get
other
paid
things.
to do this, we get
Suicide
paid to do trainings
prevention.
like this.
We offer support group facilitator trainings, train the trainer trainings. And again, it's like I said, finding your love, and NAMI Vermont is just like amazing, AFSP is amazing, because it's not, we don't get paid to do this, we do this because we love it, and it's what our passion is and what speaks to us. Fortunately, because it's also my passion is mental health, so I'm lucky enough that my love and passion coincides with my job. I'm probably one of the only people in, one of the
Right, well,
very
thank
few
you
people
all
that get
for
up in the
joining me
morning
tonight, and I
and don't
hope you
think,
found
"Oh,
at
I'm gonna
least
work
one
today." I'm
cooler
like,
trip
"Woo,
that
I
was
get to go to work
helpful.
today.
My contact number
Give me 2 more
is
weeks,
up on the
we're headed to the end of
Also,
Susan.
the
I feel a little different, because I don't have a day off for a
great,
couple
great
weeks, but.
virtual free
Any other
training
questions or comments?
and getting more connected, to other mental health offerings.
All right, well, thank you all for joining me tonight, and I hope you found at least one tool or trick that was helpful. My contact number is up on the screen. Also, the Facing Suicide.
And we do have some
virtual
booklets up
free
here with
trainings on
resource
there if
guides
you're
on the
interested in
front
getting
table
more
if that's
connected,
something that you're interested in.
to other mental health offerings.
One more time,
It's
Indivisible,
amazing
give it up for Terry Lately.
We put all of our offerings on there, so it's kind of a statewide.
Right now, how you
So
doing?
thank you, everyone.
How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah! Here with
like that.
resource
I am
guides
okay.
on the front table if that's something that you're
Okay,
interested in.
so, Terry says she needs it. If you
One
have
more
any
time,
questions,
Indivisible, give it up for Terry Lately. And just like pop off the throat chakra right now. How are you doing tonight? Tell us, honest, vulnerable. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. I like that. I am okay too. Thank you. Okay, so Terry says she needs it. If you have any questions or comments for her or anything about the Northeast Kingdom Human Services, please come up after, ask her. It's been fabulous. We have our social time before our Indivisible after hours meeting. Come in, we're going to meet at 6 o'clock every time we do this.
Amazing drink
We will socialize at 5:30. We have some cookies in the back. We also have, amazing. If you would like to donate so that we can help cover some of the fun appetizers, you can do that. Also go see Sam. Sam created an amazing drink tonight, which we mentioned at the beginning. If you're closing out your tab, please tip your bartender. If you're going to stay and hang out, that's a wonderful thing to do. We've got a whole bunch of activities to read over here. Not so much activities, like papers. We have a node. Okay, hold on. I'm now going to not lose my train of thought, but stick to it. So if you don't know me, my name is Rosa. I moved to St. Johnsbury about 2 years ago. I've lived in the Northeast Kingdom for 6 or so years, and I'm from Maine before that, so I've been living girl my whole life. And right now, I'm working towards my PhD in psychology, so mental health near and dear to my heart. And Terry provided tons of great resources on what to do if you're in crisis, if someone in your family's in crisis, you know, with the climate that we're in, and the way the systems are not functioning for us, or sometimes even collapsing around us, we really need mental health support. But it's an everyday thing. Having someone help you build skills which you feel you just wish you had more of. It's something you couldn't figure out the pattern of in your own life. That's the training therapists go to. They love people, they love patterns, and they want to help you with your brain. So in addition to Northeast Kingdom Human Services, I'm about to give you all the contact info for Sage Mental Health PLC right now. I don't know them. I am not sponsored by them. I walk by their sign every day. It's like a rainbow and a brain and a tree all in one. And I think it is just the absolute coolest thing. And in my imaginal structure, which we have to work on a lot in our PhD psychology program, it's where you imagine your future and you're okay with it. I want to work in the kind of space that they have. It's a nice, homey building. So if you think that you are ready for upgrading your life and some mental support, and you don't feel you're in crisis, you are not taking anyone else's resources to call these people and start therapy. So here's a number. If you've got your phone out, write it down. 802-255-8788. You can also visit them, and their website is a great one. Sage, like a wise person. MH for mental health. VT for .com. There you go. It's right up on Main Street. You may have seen it before, you may have walked by it every day, but not realized. But you can get there from here. Okay, there's also the St. Johnsbury Community Health Center, and those are the things that my Googling told me. We have this after hours meeting. This is the second one, so it's now not inaugural, but there's also the Wednesday meetings for Indivisible at 11 a.m. It's at the Universalist Unitarian Congregation on 47 Cherry Street. If you can meet there and you're interested in doing more things, being more involved, we will be having a No Kings protest. If you're like, yes, please, I want to get up, I want to move around. No Kings protest. Bring everyone and tell your friends. It's No Kings 2. And it is 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. Currently at the courthouse on Main Street. We've got speakers. We've got Whistle Big Riot.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's coming again.
Yeah. Whistle Big Riot's going. Thank you, and stay tuned. Okay. And you're like, well, I would like, but what will I carry there? Right here at Sam's on 1016, we're going to have the poster party. Got awesome sign examples right here. No Kings. We've got the Constitution says no kings. Guys, we've got more no kings, no crowns. Fuck Trump. We've got Palestine. I would never encourage any of you to do crime, but let's just say when I'm at recess and I've got kids who are pretending crime, the thing that I encourage is that they're pretending vandalism. And I saw some awesome vandalism this summer. It said Feed Gaza. So there you go. You can take my sign idea. Please come to our sign making party on 10/16. They make messages, honk and wave. And our next meeting for after hours will be here on the 20th. it's
Crystal,
2
I'm
days
so
after the
glad
No
you
Kings
asked.
2 protest.
The
So
next
the 16th
theme
we're
for the
making
meeting
signs,
is
18th
maintain
protest,
momentum, call
20th,
to action.
we're back here. None of them is mandatory, but you should come to them all.
So,
And it's
we
the
have
same
a
time,
great
same
book
place.
provided by
Monday at
Crystal.
6
It's
p.m.
like she knew what my note said.
Finally.
Bengam,
Wait, what's
Kiki,
the name of the next
Abiyari
meeting?
Malna.
Oh, Crystal, I'm so glad you
The world will
asked.
not be
The
destroyed by
next
evil
theme
people,
for the
but
meeting
by
is
good people
maintain
who
the
do nothing to
momentum,
stop.
call to
Hopefully there will always
action.
be good people
Oh,
courageous
yeah.
enough to take on the bad guys.
So,
This is the
and
only
we
way
have a great
humanity
quote
can
provided by
hope for
Crystal.
salvation.
It's like she knew what my note said. From
in my
Bengam Biki
religious practice
Habiyari
of yoga,
Malna,
I try and
the
always
great
channel
pearl of
Bodhisattva,
wisdom,
which is
says
no
the
one
world
gets
will
into
not
heaven.
be destroyed by evil
That
people,
everyone
but
getting
by
into
good
heaven,
people who do
Nirvana.
nothing to stop
So,
it. Hopefully there will always be good people courageous
shout
enough
out
to
if
take
you
on the
can tell
bad
me
guys.
the literal
This is the
reference I
only
just
way
made there.
humanity can hope for salvation.
Someone say Three Musketeers.
In my religious practice of yoga, I try and always channel
Okay.
Bodhisattva,
You guys
which
are gonna
is
get
no one
sick
gets
of
into
my
heaven, or nirvana, without everyone getting into
That's
heaven.
it. One more
Nirvana.
time. Props
So,
to the
it's
people.
one for all and all
It's
for
very
one.
Special. Please
Shout out
vote
if you can tell me
for
the
bartender.
literal reference I just made there.